His hands are close together and at his hips, ready to be pulled up and back. His weight is in his back leg, ready to be transferred towards the front. And you see his arms are pulled back to create tension on his posterior chain to then generate power. After energy transfer, he creates a wide base with the weight towards his front leg. His hips and shoulders are perpendicular to the target, generating what we call lag, which in turn is going to generate more power through follow-through. During follow-through, he puts all of his weight on his front foot and rotates through his core to generate power. The first error here is that his hands are too far apart and his stick is pointed down and across his body away from the target. He does a good job creating a wide base to generate power from, but his front hand is not far back enough to create adequate power. The two main problems here is that before the ball is released, his hips are already parallel to the target, which is going to lead in a massive power loss. The other issue is that instead of pulling through with the stick, he's simply pushing it in a pendulum motion, which is going to reduce power and accuracy. In his follow-through, his weight is not properly shifted towards his front leg, and his posture is too upright to create any meaningful power from his core. After practice, his hands are now closer together, and his weight is on his back leg to prepare for a weight transfer in the next step. The stick is now pointed down the target line and at his hips to be ready to be raised up for the next step. He does a good job creating a wide base with the weight at the back of his leg for proper weight transfer. His hips and shoulders are perpendicular to the target, creating lag and power, and his stick is being pulled back to also create power. As he begins follow-through, his weight is transferred to his front leg, and his hips and shoulders are still perpendicular to the target, creating lag. As he goes to follow through, his weight is shifted towards his front leg, his weight is parallel to the target, and he's rotating through his core, generating power. He's also pulling his bottom hand down, which is going to in turn create accuracy and power. The autonomous learner loads up his back leg in preparation for the next step, which is going to be a weight transfer. As you can see from my awesome visuals, he is pushing up through the ground and creating a crow hop effect, which is going to in turn lead to more power. As he begins the next sequence, his weight is in his back leg, his hips are perpendicular to the target, creating drag, and you can see how much separation he creates where his body line is to where his stick is. As he begins to release, he creates good width in his base to generate power, and his front leg is loaded with his hips perpendicular to the target to create lag and power. He uses his core muscles to generate power in the follow-through. The first problem is that his base is too narrow and his weight is not in his back leg, creating no power. Again, as he begins to step through, his base is too narrow and his hand isn't creating any separation from his body, which in turn creates no power. His weight is in the middle and his foot is pointed away from his target line. Although it may look like his weight is transferred to his front, it is still in the middle, and his hips and shoulders are out of alignment, and his posture is too far upright to generate any meaningful power. As you can see, his posture is too upright and his weight is in the middle. He does a great job generating weight in his back leg to in turn create power in the transition. His hips and shoulders are parallel to each other and perpendicular to the target line, and his hands are pulled back and away from his body. He does a great job keeping his hips and shoulders in line and creating separation from his body and the stick with his hands far back. As he steps through, his weight is transferred to his front foot, and his hips and shoulders are still parallel to each other but perpendicular to the target, creating lag, which creates power. As he begins his release, his weight is in his front foot, and he rotates through his core, creating power. In his follow-through, he has good posture and good weight distribution.